Hi, Scorpio. Welcome to your Spirit Guided Energy Focus reading. Last week I did not get to the love readings because I was doing state required classes to keep my real estate license intact. So in this Spirit Guided Energy Focus reading, I will include romantic love when I normally wouldn't. But because I missed it last week, I'm including it this week. Okay, God, guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit, we're looking for the spirit-guided energy focuses for the weeks coming. Show us clearly what will we be navigating as it relates to our Scorpio friends in the areas of health and wellness, in the areas of career and money, in the areas of family and friend and co-worker relationships, and in the area of romantic love. Show us clearly. What will we be navigating under the sign of Scorpio? We thank you for clear and concise messages. We thank you for love, light, and prosperity. And we thank you for clarification, confirmation, and validation. So, Scorpio, in the area of health and wellness, remember that's mind, body, and spirit. We have victory and success. In the area of business and money, we have balance. As it relates to family, friends, and co-worker relationships, we have conflict and defeat. And as it relates to romantic love, we have disruption. Now, I want to remind you a couple things. Number one, don't let these two cards freak you out because it doesn't mean something terrible is about to happen. But what I want to remind you is that we are in a Mercury retrograde, so there may be energies resurfacing that you thought you had already dealt with. That may be coming up to let you look at them again. This Mercury retrograde is in the sign of Pisces, and Pisces are all about Pisces. The sign of Pisces is about emotions, deep emotions and stuff, I think. So because these two cards are actually in the areas of relationships, I feel like you're going to be revisited with something that you may think you have overcome. And just so you know, I've already had my little dose of that. And it's like you have the ability to look at it, see it for what it is, and release it a little easier this time around. So God guides, angels, we're going to get an overall theme to the message. God guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit. I thank you so much for our Scorpio friends. Show us clearly, what is the overall theme of this message? We thank you for clear and concise messages. We thank you for love, light, and prosperity. And we thank you for clarification, confirmation, and validation. Show us clearly what is the overall theme. So you have dry desert, okay? And again, don't look at that as something negative because it's really not. 31, the 3 for me, 3 is a collaboration of you, your spirit guides, and your creator. For me, that's what the 3 is. The 1 is about creating, right? So it's like you and your team are collaborating together to create something. The 3 and the 1 equals a 4. So whatever it is you're creating is going to be of a very firm, it's going to be on firm footing, a firm foundation. And we're going to talk about that. I can almost see where this is going. So, dry desert, dig deep for inspiration and truth. Now is the time to become resilient and adaptable. Is your life presenting you with opportunities that seem to be yielding nothing? Have your ideas dried up? Does it feel like you're on an endless journey through a dry, hot, lifeless desert? This card reminds you that there are times when you are meant to become resilient as you journey through harsher circumstances. Excuse me. You're being required to conserve your energy until after consistent effort you reach the oasis you're searching for. Consider the creatures that live in these conditions. They have adapted to thrive in spite of the outer environment. In a desert, water, essential for life, can be found deep underground. So go deep within yourself now and find your truth there. Let spirit sustain you while you locate the real source. Whatever it is you're asking about will not be found in the conditions you're in until you move past the surface of things and choose to do the real work and discover the answers deep within you. This may not seem like the most productive time, but looks are deceiving. This is a most important place to find what's truly right for you. Okay, Scorpio. So again, I feel like this obviously has these two energies right here obviously do have something to do with the retrograde, like within your relationships. Perhaps there's been some infighting within a family situation, or perhaps there's been some within an actual romantic relationship, and you thought that you've solved it and you've put it behind you, you've let bygones be bygones, all that stuff. And then somewhere in the next few weeks, something's going to resurface for you to look at again. It just happened to me. I'm telling you, it just happened to me over the weekend. And in meditation, I asked Spirit to please, give me some clarification, and they did. And once I got the clarification, it was just so easy to say, okay, now you take it. I understand, now you take it. And now I can move forward again. So, and I might talk more about that in a daily mail, perhaps this evening, I don't know. God, guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit, I thank you so much for our friends born into the sign of Scorpio. Please show us the overall theme of this message as we move forward in this reading. We thank you for clear and concise messages. We thank you for love, light, and prosperity. And we thank you for clarification, confirmation, and validation. Okay. Wow. Education. 3-5. The 3 again is that collaborative energy, right? And the 5 is about change. So something's about to change for you within, I feel like it's these last 2 areas, relationships and that romantic relationship. And the 3 and the 5 equals 8, which for me is synonymous with success. It's going to be a very successful and fruitful change for you. Okay. And the title of this card is education. So I feel like it's saying you don't have the information you need right now. It's funny because that's what I just went through. You don't have the information you need right now. There may be some more experiences coming up for you. Let's see what the card says. Life is filled with lessons. Be teachable. Wisdom comes from participating in life, not just reading about it. This card suggests that you might not have enough knowledge about what you seek, the direction to take, your circumstances, or the nature of your inquiry. Important information is coming. Now is the time to go to school, ask a person who might know more than you do, or find a teacher or a course of study so that you can more clearly understand what the next right action must be. Sometimes life unexpectedly sends you to an unfamiliar school, and you must learn by experience. Now's the time to be teachable, open to changing your preconceived notions. Be a student and be willing to state the most powerful mantra of all. I don't know yet. Okay, Scorpio. We're going to get some clarifiers on these energies and see exactly what else Spirit has to say as far as these energies go. God, guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit, we thank you so much for our friends born under the sign of Scorpio. Show us clearly what are the clarifying messages that go with these energies. Victory and success as it relates to health and wellness. Balance as it relates to work and money. Conflict and defeat as it relates to family and friendship and co-worker relationships. And disruption as it relates to romantic love. We thank you for clear and concise messages. We thank you for love, light, and prosperity. And we thank you for clarification, confirmation, and validation. Show us clearly, clarify for us what these messages are. So clarifying victory and success, we have the 7 of Swords. clarifying balance, we have the Two of Cups. Clarifying, and remember, victory and success was health and wellness. Balance is work and money. Conflict and defeat is family, friends, and co-worker relationships. And we have the Ace of Wands. And disruption is the romantic energy. And we have Seven of Cups. Okay. So, let's see where we are with all this. Victory and success. So this old guy is at the top of this. He's like at a precipice, right? Like he's at the end of this cliff. He can't go any further. It's not the full card. He's not stepping off, right? He's not stepping off into the unknown. But this has been a long journey to get to this part where he is. And now he's blowing his trumpet because he's like, I've got it. I accomplished it. I overcame this mountain to be able to get right here where I am, right? So he is in celebration right now. He is in gratitude. How did he get there? He got there with this card right here. This is the Seven of Swords. Now the Seven of Swords is about being or some deception somewhere. There might be some people that are working behind your back, and some people that are telling lies on you and all kinds of stuff. But see, he's right here on top of that mountain. How did he get there? Because he overcame this. He overcame the worry of it. He overcame the getting stuck in it. He overcame the worrying about it, understanding that in his divinity, whenever he walks in his divinity, he can allow his spirit guides to handle that stuff. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to go defend himself. He doesn't have to go tell everybody, well, this is the truth of what happened, or anything like that, because he walks in the knowledge and the understanding that as long as he does what he came here to do, as long as he walks in his truth, in his divinity, then he walks in victory. And all this other stuff simply goes away by the wayside. So he's overcome this, right? And in fact, he's taken from all of those experiences, because it hasn't happened just once to you, Scorpio. This has happened many times. So you've taken all of these experiences and you've garnered the truth. You've taken the gold, you've extracted the gold in the lessons of all of these situations, and you're going on your way in your own understanding, in your own truth of how things work for you. And whatever doesn't work for you, you've left it behind. The fighting, the trying to defend yourself, the trying to wait for somebody to approve of you, those kinds of things, right? All of that stuff it does hold you back also on your journey. But in addition to that, whenever we worry about that, it causes stress in our life. And most diseases are due to inflammation, and inflammation's due to stress. So this is how you have overcome this in your own well-being, your mind, your body, and your spirit, your health and wellness, okay? By letting go of those things that are irrelevant. It's irrelevant what people think of us. It's not our business. It's irrelevant of what people say about us. We don't need anybody's approval to be who we are. Whenever we're centered in our divinity and we're connected to spirit, we don't need anybody else's opinion. Spirit is an experiential relationship. It's not something that we learn about or something that we can really be taught from the outside. It's an inside job. It's spirit. It's an experiential thing. And that's where you are. And it's like and if you haven't overcome it, because this says education, I feel like this is what Spirit's saying. If you haven't already overcome this, then this is your education to overcome it so that you can walk in the victory of your divinity. Okay, Scorpio, for work and money, we have balance, okay? The balance card is about patience. It's about being able to transmute energies and stuff like that. So I feel like as you move forward, as it relates to money and career, whatever you're going through, it's not one extreme or the other, right? There's some kind of community within the situations at work or in your idea. Like for instance, because the balance card is here, it could be that you're wanting to start your own YouTube channel, and you want to quit your job so that you can go out there and just blast all kinds of videos out there and grow that channel fast and all that other stuff. But balance says maybe balance is saying, hey, but you still have to live in this world. We still have to pay our bills. So maybe you have to do a little bit of both for a while. I don't know. But guess who knows? You know, right? Within yourself, you know. Now, just because I gave that as an example doesn't mean Spirit's saying that's what it is that you're supposed to do, or that's how you go about it. That's not what Spirit's saying. That's just an example, because that's not how I did it. I was actually thrown into a position where it was all I could do, right? Because of a lot of reasons. But anyway, it was all I could do at the time, was start a YouTube channel. Not that it was all I could do. How do I want to say that? I didn't have the opportunity to continue to do both at the time, right? So I jumped feet first into YouTube. However, there was still balance necessary, because I could have had a tendency to worry about a lot of things. But I chose not to. I chose to be in communion with who I am, with my left brain and my right brain, with my doer and my beer, with my taskmaster and my compassionate creative spot, with every part of me. It didn't just come automatically. I had to get there, but there's some balance to be had in whatever you're doing, right? As far as your work goes. Again, we don't necessarily have all the information going in, and life's little lessons, things, we will get thrown into situations that help us understand that. So I feel like if Spirit is wanting to bring you to a place of balance, this is how you're going to get there, is understanding, learning more about yourself as a whole unit as you move forward. Okay. So in family, friends, and coworker relationships, you get conflict and defeat. Okay. What I love about this card is his focus is down here, and he's thinking, see that one little light? There's only one way to figure this out within these relationships. There's only one way that I'm going to be able to make this work. And Spirit's back here with all this light saying, no, dude, no, girl, look, we have all of these ways to make this work. 5 is about change. So it's like Spirit saying there's some change coming within your relationships, and they are going to give you the inspiration that you need to address each situation, each relationship in the way that is going to best serve both of you. Whether it's you and your sister, you and your brother, you and your mom, you and your dad, whether it's you and that coworker, whether it's you and Sally that you grew up with for the last, childhood friend that now doesn't understand. It's not about focusing on this one problem or this big whatever. It's about allowing the light behind you. See, what happens is Spirit never leaves us, right? People say all the time, I'm stuck. I can't seem to hear Spirit. What have I done wrong? You've done nothing wrong. All you got to do is turn back around. If he would simply turn around, he could be seeing what Spirit has to offer him, right? It reminds me of that picture of a little girl, 2 little girls standing out in the wind and the rain, and one little girl standing with her face facing the wind and the rain, and she's feeling it cleanse her, and it blows her hair out of her face and all that other stuff. And the other girl has her back to it, and her hair is whipping her in the face, and she's very uncomfortable. So it's like, it depends on how you look at things. Everything depends on how you look at things. So Spirit doesn't ever leave us. Whenever we're headed down thinking there's only one solution, they're right there behind us waiting for us to turn around and say, hey, okay, you probably have more solutions here. So within those relationships, there's more available to you. I feel like Spirit's saying, if you would turn around and let us show you, let us walk you in the way that is going to be beneficial for everybody. Okay. And again, because this is Mercury retrograde, I actually feel like this and the next category are in fact you revisiting something for whatever reason. In romantic relationships, we have disruption. This is 16. This is the same as the Tower card. But I want you to look at this. This person feels very confined within this relationship. Okay? This could be if you're single, you feel very confined, like there's nothing you can do about being single. You're just doomed to be single, right? If you're dating, you're feeling very confined, maybe with the choices that you're making or who you're allowing in to go on dates with, right? And if you're inside a relationship, there's something about that relationship that's making you feel very, very confined. But Spirit's saying the truth is there are many options out there. In every one of those scenarios, there's many options out there. Cheryl, are you saying that if I'm in a committed relationship, I have other options as far as people go? Not necessarily. I mean, that depends on you and what kind of relationship you have with your person. But what I'm saying is there's different options, different ways for you to feel open and free within the relationship. Again, this right here, the center card, right? For me, see that it looks like a little ghost? Like for me, that represents Spirit, and that's in the center. So if we can keep Spirit at the center of every situation, again, we're looking at one thing. I think it's Abraham Hicks that says, you can have 9 things going right and 1 thing going wrong, and we're going to focus on that one thing, right? We're going to focus on that one thing that's going wrong, and then you've heard, make a mountain out of a molehill. And I'm not trying to minimize anybody's situation. But what I'm saying is when we do focus on one thing that is causing all of this, it tends to become bigger than what it needs to be. So whenever we can keep Spirit at the center, they can show us these other ways around the situation. And whenever I say around it, I don't mean doing something behind somebody's back or anything like that. I mean being able to communicate our feelings and not have to have the response, being okay with whatever response we get because we know who we are, because we're centered within the relationship. So, and again, I don't feel like this is something new. I feel like this is a revisit. And when it's a revisit, it's almost like, oh yeah, you get it faster and you move forward easier from within that situation. Okay, God, guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit, I thank you so much for showing us the energies on the board. And guys, thank you for the likes, the shares, the subscribes, the comments, ringing my bell, all that stuff, and the passersby, the ones who engage and the ones who just stop in. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of you, and I love each and every one of you. God, guides, angels, archangels, and Holy Spirit, thank you so much for our friends born under the sign of Scorpio. Please show us the PS. We thank you for clear and concise messages. We thank you. Sorry about that. Okay. We thank you for clear and concise messages. We thank you for love, light, and prosperity. And we thank you for clarification, confirmation, and validation. Please show us the PS. Wow. These cards are sticking bad. Okay. I feel like they're sticking bad. Somebody's holding on to something really, really tight, some issue. You're holding on to it, and I feel like Spirit's saying it's time to let it go. You thought you had let it go, and now we're going to show it to you again because you haven't let it go. So Spirit's saying we want to give you the opportunity to bring into your reality those things that you want in every area of your life, in your spiritual life, in your health and wellness, in your work life, in your relationship life with your friends and families and coworkers, and in that romantic love relationship, whether you're single or and looking for that kind of or contemplating that kind of relationship, or whether you're in the middle of it. Spirit's saying we want you to have in your life experience, in this life experience, what it is that you want. And there's that little, remember I said earlier, this wasn't the fool because he wasn't stepping off of that precipice. Now he is. Look, he's stepping off, and he's waiting for Spirit to put that solid whatever under his foot, right? So that he can walk and not fall. So I feel like with these situations, Spirit's saying that this might be a stretch for you. You might have to step out on faith and trust us on this. I might be asking you, whenever I ask you, Spirit's talking to you, whenever I ask you to express yourself and allow somebody else to express themselves back to you without retaliation, without you being requiring them to express themselves in a certain way to you. This is all different for you. So Spirit's saying, this is different. Step out on faith. No, trust us. Trust that part inside of you that's saying this is a good way to move forward. And then we have Justice. Look, they're trying to bring balance to you. And Scorpio, it's like you're walking out there. They're saying we are collaborating with you to change something, the way that you show up in the world. And believe us when we tell you this is not only going to bring balance, but it's going to bring you a very fruitful and successful situation in your life. That is your message, Scorpio. Thank you so much for stopping in. And until next time, go out and have a super duper day. Bye.